Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hopefully everybody is doing well. We finally got a little bit of sunshine poking out through the clouds now, so I'm pretty pumped because, as you know, if you watched the last video, which actually took place last night, we got some sticky tires on the rear of this car finally with the Firestone Firehawk Indy 500s. We just put them on the 17-inch wheels if you haven't been following along, because we just want to try them out. I got a set that was pre-owned, about 80% tread life left, so they're essentially brand new, and we're just going to get them warm, and hopefully the roads dry out a little bit today, and we'll actually test out some different launch type scenarios and see if we can't improve upon that 30-foot or 60-foot to see if we want to go ahead and just purchase a set of these tires. If they're no good or we don't see any improvement, then we might have to continue shopping around. But if they're as good as people say they are, I'm pretty excited to see what we can do. Don't forget about the series of giveaways that I was talking about. Holds true for this video as well, giving away Speed Culture t-shirts, which hopefully you've seen on Instagram or my previous videos. 2 winners, drawings a week from the date that this video is uploaded. All you got to do is be subscribed, leave a thumbs up, and leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know that you are subscribed. If you can't remember those directions, they are in the description box below. I'll have to do a review on these tires at some point down the road, but just right off the bat, before we really get into things, even though we only switched out the rear tires, I can definitely tell a difference on the road. These ride really, really smooth, and I could tell there was much less maybe sort of vibration on the interstate than what I get with the Lexanis. What I've discovered with the Lexanis is that if the car sits for a while, if I travel for work and the car is in the airport parking garage for a week, or it's really cold at night and the car sits overnight, obviously, they seem to develop flat spots. That's kind of what I attribute it to. And once I start cruising down the interstate, I feel a slight vibration until the tires warm up or get rounded back out. I didn't notice that with these tires right off the bat, so that's pretty good. But I will say that they are a little bit more noisy. One thing that did impress me with the Lexanis is that they seem super quiet. There's been some ultra high performance type tires that I've run in the past that are really noisy on the road. The Lexanis are not, and these Firehawks seem to kind of make a little bit of a whom whum whum noise. I don't know. Before we get into it, guys, here's a couple of clips of what we've been dealing with in terms of traction. Enjoy. Wow. I see my first patch of dry pavement. Well, the tires hadn't even been warmed up, and just trying to launch there in first with traction control off, I got a little bit of wheel hop, which tells me that the tires are trying to grab, which was more than what the Lexanis would do. They would just spin, or one of them would just spin. But it feels like we're getting a little grip even when the tires are not warm, so that's a good sign. So we just got to continue searching for some dry pavement here. Not warmed up yet, obviously, and going uphill. We had to try it out though. Nice. Actually, some spacers. Kick the wheels out a little, it wouldn't look that bad. Oof. All right, we got traction control on this time. glad we turned it off. I forgot. Shit. All right, we got traction control on this time. Getting a little wheel hop with it off, so I feel like that's a good sign. And I'm happy to report that we got 2 black marks last time. So we're spinning both tires. I wonder if you can see them right there. Let's try this. Here we go. Automatic. Wasn't even watching. Hopefully we broke 5 on the first try. We started to break loose a little bit for sure because traction control did kick in, and it pulled power. The RPM came back. There we go. Automatic. It seemed to be shifting really late too. I caught a glance of it and it seemed like it was shifting closer to 8,000 RPM rather than 75 or even 76. So I may want to try it in manual mode. It's already smelling hot, but let's pull over here and see what we got. I don't know, guys. This is turning out to be a bust. I feel like we got the right tires. I mean, I was pretty confident in these tires. We are spinning them. But it's just getting used to them. That's all it's going to take. I'm not going to use any excuses. It is 59 degrees, so it's a little chilly. You know, the ground is still a little bit damp. But I'm not going to use excuses. DA is 30 million. You know, whatever. No excuses. I'm just spinning the tires, and I just got to get used to it. A 2.180 to 30 and a 2.20 60-foot time. But that translated to a 5.30 to 60. This is what I'm struggling with. Of course, we had traction control on, and definitely a hope on the GoPro footage. You can see the RPM. I'm not sure if it's pointing at the dash, but you know, it detects spinning, it kicks in, and it stalls at about 4,500 RPM before it comes back. That would explain why we get up to 30 and get up to the 60-foot mark, but then beyond that, it's holding us back, which brings that time down. And I say this because, you know, several months ago when we were first doing this, I ran a 2.18 60-foot time. I believe that was my best 60, and that got a 4.9 or 4.990 to 60. So, you know, 0.3 faster with the same 60-foot times, and that really should translate into, you know, the same time or faster. But again, that traction control's kicking in, and it just seems like turning traction control off and trying to mess with it manually, that just hinders us even further. So I think the way to do it from now on is traction control on and automatic. It just seems like it's getting us the best results. I got to put the car up for now for a couple of hours at least. I feel bad beating on the old girl like this, and like I said, it's starting to smell a little bit warm. So we're gonna just cruise, let it cool down, park it for a couple of hours. Maybe we'll bring it out a little later this afternoon. But again, I think we got the right tires, and I'm happy with them so far. And they don't really, those wheels don't look that bad now that we're lowered. If I had some spacers, I could push them out and get a little better fitment. That might be the way to go. I don't know. We'll try it out. We're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna get in the 4 second 0 to 60, you know, time frame and stay there consistently. We're gonna do it. It's a driver situation right now at this point. You just got to get in tune with the old Q50. You know, be the car. Be the car. Now, I know these Firehawks are supposed to be good and sticky tires, right? But there's a couple of things running through my mind right now. Number one, with 80% tread life left, why were they available at such a good deal? Did they come off a wrecked car? Possibly. Or were they defective and the person that bought them got rid of them? Possibly. And if we're in that situation, that would suck. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case because, like I said, we were getting a little bit of wheel hop. It was kind of telling me that it's trying to grip up. So we got to get them adequately warm and then try it again. But the other thing on my mind in regard to these tires is that they are only 225s. I do like that they're 50s. They got a nice fat sidewall on them. I am running about 33 psi. We could drop it down a little bit. You know, they're not drag radials or slicks, so you know, dropping the psi really doesn't do much, you know, beyond a certain point. It's not like you can drop it to 24 and you're going to see any you know, benefit from that. But coming down to 30, 31, 29, you know, just giving it a little bit of flex in the sidewall, that might help a little bit. But really just that surface area, you know, the fact that they're only 225s, they're pretty narrow. If we bumped them up to a 255 or 265 or 275 like I have with the Lexanis, I'm sure we would hook pretty damn good. Day 2, guys. I guess we're gonna see if we can get a couple more runs in at least, see if we can get this time down. Otherwise, I don't know, it may be a springtime situation. It's 57 degrees this morning. The roads are dry, and the sun has been bright for the last couple of hours, so hopefully there's a little bit of heat in the pavement. I guess it is what it is at this point. I've lowered the pressures today down to 30 psi as well, so we'll see if that makes any difference at all. I think I mentioned that I started at about 33 psi, but you know, after the tires got heated up yesterday, and I checked them at the end, and I was at 35 or just slightly over. So that could technically make a difference again with just regular street radials. You know, lowering the tire pressure down, you know, past a certain point really does nothing for you anyway. They're just not designed in that way like a drag slick would be, or even a drag radial. So, you know, lowering the pressure down, like I said, to 23 or 24 or 19 psi or something like that, it's not going to do anything for us. So drop it down to 30 and we'll see, I guess, if that makes any difference. Automatic traction control on. First try is no bueno, guys. With traction control on, it cuts power way too much. The tires broke loose. I tried to warm them up beforehand. You didn't see it on camera, obviously, but I did a little burnout. You know, you just can't get the tires properly warmed up with the car like this when you can't do a proper burnout. Also, again, we're on the street. It's cold. It's just not ideal locations. Again, I don't want to make excuses, but come on. Traction control just kills it way too much. Traction control off, manual. God dang, it's just getting worse. It's my fault. Second run was my fault. Traction control off. I tried to roll in it a little bit. I heard the tires chirping and I just laid into it. They were wanting to catch, but I just effing pinned it and went for it and roasted them all the way through first. And then, of course, being an idiot, I let it tap off rev limiter going into second, and that was it. That's all it took. And what sucks about the gearing in this car is that you got to shift into third at like 59 miles an hour, and that is just a joke because it takes, you know, shifting the transmission just even a split second is enough to drop the RPM to slow a bit of your momentum, and that's just a killer when you're trying to get 0 to 60. Well, I'm just not going to continue beating on the car, guys. I'm really sorry. I thought we were going to have a good combination of tires and weather for this video to get good 0 to 60 times, if nothing else, improve on our 60-foot time, and it's just not happening. I think the next step, really, like I said, I like the tires. I think we're in a good position with the tires here. I'm trying to block some of the sun, but I think the best thing to do is get to a prep surface, get off the street, and actually, you know, get to a drag strip. That's going to give us the most, you know, accurate feel of what the car can truly do. Because honestly, I feel like the car is there. You know, the car's running well, and it's running right, and I feel like it's making the power and the torque that we need it to make. Obviously, it's turning the tires. And, you know, when we had smaller tires on the car and we weren't tuned, we were making better times. But we were also getting some grip. So I don't know, I like the tire. Well, we're halfway through December and the weather's getting cool now, or cold, so I'm sure we're anticipating some inclement weather. So I'll just keep the winter wheels on. We'll throw the fronts on for a little while, and that means these Firehawks will still be on the rear. And we're always doing pulls, so if we find a nice patch of pavement and the weather is decent, maybe we'll see what we can do going forward. But like I said, I think the best way to actually feel what the car can do now with the power that it's making is get some actual tires on, and not just these 225s. We'll get 275s on the car, and I think that'll make a huge difference because I can tell the tires want to grip, but I think even these cheap Lexanis are getting me more grip because they're 275s. There's just more surface area touching the road. So just talking in circles there a lot, but ultimately we need to get actual tires on the car, and we need to get it to an actual prepped surface to really find out what she's capable of. It's not going to happen on the streets as long as the temperatures are cool and the tires are cool, and just not making excuses. But there's a whole combination of factors that we're fighting against right now to try to improve our 60-foot time. As you know, 60 feet, very short distance, so even getting 1 or 2 tenths off of it is going to be a challenge. I knew we were going to lose a little bit of torque going to the 2.5-inch exhaust, and it seems to be actually having an impact. So going forward, maybe we'll consider the 2.25-inch. I want to actually come up with some custom test pipes, so we'll see if we can partner with somebody to get those done and see if we can get those torque numbers up. But that's future. Stick around. We got some more parts on the way, and we got some stuff coming up after Christmas. Things arranged. So good things coming up in the next few days. Stick around for the next video for more giveaways, and I appreciate you guys watching very much. And like I said, really sorry we couldn't get some good, excellent numbers out of this car this weekend, but we'll keep trying. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.